What's up, everybody? Welcome back to United vs. Everybody. I am your host, Sean, and we are no rest for the wicked, no rest for the weary, no rest for us and Manchester United as we turn right around from a trip to France to travel to the Toon to take on Newcastle United at St. James's Park. We will be hoping for a bit of revenge against the newly crowned League Cup champions, but it is a big ask. Newcastle are fit and firing this year. Obviously, they have our number a little bit in recent months, but we do have a little bit of bragging rights in some areas. So they are physical, they are energetic, they are, right, quite frankly, better than us right now, but we still have to make a go of it. And today we're going to preview the match. So like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's get stuck in. Starting just a little bit of academy news as the under-21s beat Reading yesterday 4-1. We've got a brace from Biancheri and also goals from Mather and Scanlon as well. And how good does Sekou Kone look, by the way? The guy is just he's fast, he's powerful, he gets involved, he wants the ball. And I think that's what I like most about Kone is that he wants the ball. And that's something that you don't see often from young midfielders. I mean, we didn't even see it from senior midfielders. Guys like, no disrespect, but like McTominay never looked like he was comfortable, like he wanted the ball in those close quarters, middle of the park situations. And so it's nice and refreshing to see this youngster who wants the ball. But Kone looks good. The under-21s getting the job done. The under-18s also beat Forest this morning 3-0. Bragamoff, Overy, and Bailey all scored as well. So big up the kids getting it done. How's everyone doing this morning? Hakuna Matata. No worries. Good morning. Good to see you. Hope everyone is enjoying their Saturday. I said we should buy Donnarumma because Onana is trash. Onana's struggling. Unfortunately, I do think Onana is just another one of these players who perhaps just can't handle the weight of the shirt. The shirt might just weigh a little too heavy on him, the constant scrutiny. And I do think maybe some of it, like people say, okay, he looks confident. I think it's he flatters to deceive. I think it's an overcompensation from Onana to maybe try to fight some of that pressure that he feels, some of that stress from playing for United, because yes, he went to a Champions League final with Inter, but still playing for United is a whole different animal. And I don't think that he quite handles some of that very well. So, but yeah, Donnarumma, I've never been quite sold on Donnarumma personally. He is a bit old school in terms of that same kind of that Oblak, that De Gea, that Courtois kind of mold, like the big, thin, kind of tall keepers who are just, they're going to handle their shit. It just depends. Again, you guys know what I always say. It comes down to the system that we're playing. The reason Onana was here was because of the system that Ten Hag played, the building out from the back, where keepers are almost another outfield player in that regard. Now, I get it. I understand it. And honestly, I don't mind it. If you want a keeper who's better on the ball, more comfortable, at the end of the day, you got to be able to make saves. You got to be able to take control of your area. You can't be afraid in those situations. And Onana just doesn't tick those boxes. So it is what it is. Sanjay, hope you were doing well, my friend. Hope you slept it off last night, my guy, but hope you're enjoying yourself. And Dylan, chilling with Dylan this morning. How are you doing, my guy? Good to see you, Dylan. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday morning, my friend. Dylan and I hung out Thursday, watched the Europa League match, and that was good times. Always good times chilling with Dylan. So, but big up the under-18s, big up the under-21s. What else is going on this morning? Oh, so Matthias Cunha caused a bit of an uproar because he posted this on Instagram. Apparently, I don't have Instagram, so I don't know. But apparently he posted this and then took it down. So I was able to find a piece of this. But make of this what you will, just a simple little black and white. We know the black and white, right? The black and white always adds another layer of speculation and scrutiny. So I'm not sure what he means here. Time to be happy. I will follow my dreams. Not yours, so stay cool. I'm not sure what that means, but you guys let me know what you think Cunha is getting up to. Is he just doing it to troll? Is there nothing more in it? Is he hinting at something? You guys let me know. I'm gonna move on. Oh, what's Dylan saying? Dylan at the gym, still working out the frustration from Thursday. Must have been a lot of frustration if you're still working on it. I worked out a little bit this morning. My back is killing me. We got our new couch delivered yesterday, and I just kind of took it upon myself after working out yesterday to put that together, which was a bit of heavy lifting, so my back is feeling it. But I mean, maybe that's just part of getting old. But still wanted to squeeze in a little bit of a workout today. But yeah, it's always you always feel better after you work out, right? Take a shower and you just chill. Cunha, Dylan says, I think Cunha would be a good addition. Definitely help the line. Honestly, right now, there's not much that would prevent me from saying, okay, if we're going to get Cunha, if we're looking at the lap, then just, you know what, you're going to have to sell Hoyland, you're going to have to sell Garnacho and have Cunha lead the line, the lap in behind with like Xerxes or somebody alongside him, Ahmad on the right wing back. Like, just get it done if that's what we're going to do at this point. I mean, I read some news from, I think it was like Tudo Mercado Web that maybe Hoyland would be interested in going to Juventus. I read I think it was Tudo Sport said that we're holding out. We're not going to take any less than like 50 million pounds or something for him. I don't know. You never know what to say with some of this, but you guys know I said it yesterday. Yeah, I've been defending Hoyland from what I think has been a little bit too knee-jerk in a lot of ways reaction from the fan base. But at the same time, I've also tried to be very objective and say, like, he's struggling. He needs to do better, and I need to see that he's putting in the time and the work to do better. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, Cunha and Delap wouldn't be the worst bit of business. I think that I would like someone a little better in leading the line, but it is what it is. But Danny B, big up, man. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday morning. And yes, hit that like button for me. Subscribe subscribe to the channel if you are new. I'm extremely tired. Yesterday was such a very long day. Just moving slow today. I don't know how you guys are doing, but I'm moving a little slowly today. Rob in the house. Good to see you, Rob. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday morning. Did anybody watch any? I did start watching the City match. I turned it off, but then I saw that City came back from like 2-0 down to win 5-2. I wanted to watch Middlesbrough, but Paramount Plus, 10 matches in the championship this morning. Paramount Plus only streaming 2, so that's cool. And Middlesbrough was not one of them. But so I don't know the score there. So I started watching a little bit of the Leverkusen game. Leverkusen are struggling this season, and that's what we said last spring, is that we're going to see how they continue, if they can maintain their form from last season this season, and they're not quite able to do that. So it's a big test. You know, it's always about maintaining. And I think I've said the same thing about Kieran McKenna, for instance. You have to maintain, and the drop off has been stark. Danny says Cunha, Delap, Dibbling are the main targets. 3 would be nice. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind Cunha. Cunha was a bit of a striker when he was at Atletico Madrid for a bit, and then Wolves kind of turned him into one of those second striker 10s kind of thing. But I think he could still do a job as a striker in the system that we play. But we shall see. And like Danny says, it costs you probably just over 120 or so million to get the 3. I mean, it's not cheap. Cunha in particular is going to, but if he keeps posting these kind of things and if he keeps doing all this stuff, it could force Wolves' hand a little bit. But we shall see. Rob says, in work, been watching a Leicester watch along 2-2 so far. Interesting. I do kind of hope that Ruud can at least get a point, another point before the end of the season. He doesn't have much time left, but I feel a little bad for Ruud. But you knew what you were walking into, my guy. Same with Amorim, unfortunately. So a little bit of speculation with Cunha, like we said. Let's dive in. Let's start with some positives, something fun. Let's dive in with a scouting report. Hit that like button for me again, please. So everyone, meet Demir Tiknaz, young Turkish midfielder on loan right now, technically on loan at Rio Ave, but I'm pretty sure they've exercised the buy option on this guy. He comes from Besiktas, so he's at Besiktas, went on loan this year, and I think Rio Ave liked him so much, he made such a good start to life there that they've exercised a €5 million option. The dude is an absolute unit. 6'4", already at 20 years old, and the way he plays reminds me of Nemanja Matic. Nemanja Matic maybe with a little bit more physicality. He's a very physical presence in the midfield for Rio Ave. Second in their league for interceptions per 90, 11th in the league for tackles per 90, which is very, very impressive for a 20-year-old on loan. He's in the 90th percentile for duels, and he's got the best long ball accuracy in Rio Ave's squad right now. So he's doing very, very well right now. Like you could see there, very physical. He's got good mentality. He's very composed in that midfield. He reads the game as well, which is why he's able to make those interceptions, get stuck in with those tackles, and carry the ball. He uses his size and his strength very, very well. He got a really good equalizing header back in February against AVS too, using just again his physicality to get on the end of something. But again, like I said, he's also very composed, which is such a rarity for young players. But it's like Mainu, how we saw Mainu was so composed in those tight areas. Very, very good. And what that does is allow him to be very calm on the ball, using his reading of the game to know, like, I don't have to rush, I don't have to go fast, I can just do what I need to do. I like him to develop his skill on the ball. He's got good long balls, yes, but I'd like to see a little bit more there. If he wants to reach the next level in the modern game as like a defensive holding midfielder, he'll have to develop a little bit more on the ball. But he's definitely making waves. Sporting were interested recently, but it sounds like, from what I've read, that Rio Ave moved quickly to exercise the buy option because, again, 5 million euros is nothing, but they moved to exercise that because they know that other clubs are interested. So it seems like the plan was almost to just exercise it for pennies and then sell him for like 3 times as much, just cheeky bastards. But the kid is doing very, very well in the Portuguese league. Very young, like I said, on loan technically from Besiktas still, but he is. They did exercise that buy option, so one to keep an eye on. Again, not very many of the scouting reports are necessarily players that I'm like, yeah, go get him for United. They're just young players, up and maybe unheard of players that I think people should be checking out. So, let's see what everyone's saying here in the chat. Let's get caught up. Danny says Yashari, Nipan, Jimenez, and Joan Garcia. With those three, would be a 9 out of 10 window. Joan Garcia is quickly moving up my priorities here. As you guys know, went on a little bit of a rant yesterday on Onana. Not trying to be insulting, not trying to like just tear him down, but it's just, I call him like I see him, like I said yesterday, and I'm not seeing much from Onana that fills me with confidence. The drop off from that Champions League final with Inter is just astonishing, and I don't think he can just handle the big stage of Old Trafford wearing the shirt, and and he's costing us. Like I said, he's a net negative, and he's literally single-handedly cost us several times. We were out of the Champions League last season because of him. We've dropped many points this season because of him. And he's just another player. And I hold him to a higher standard than players like Garnacho or Højlund because he is older. He's been to a Champions League final. He was the best keeper in that Champions League that season. And you have to, like, this, it can't just drop off like this, man. It's a little bit ridiculous. But yeah, Danny, those guys would be excellent. I'm liking I'm moving more towards Kouliarakis, the left-footed center back at Wolfsburg. He's drawing a lot of interest now. I did a scouting report on him a few months ago, as you guys remember. That dude is looking better and better and better this season. Danny on Ticknows, yeah, I had to check him out. Yeah, he's, like I said, young. He's getting some time in the Portuguese league, though, but he's doing very, very well. I like the look of him. Rob says we could do with some size in the team. Was hoping we got Sander Berge last season due to the prize and size. Yeah, I mean, Collier could be that. Collier's he's picking up a lot of these little injuries. So I like Collier, though. He gets stuck in. He's not afraid to get in there. He wants to get on the ball. He wants to get involved. And I like that from midfielders a lot. Then he says he's a little better than Chevalier from what I've watched. Yeah, I like Chevalier a lot. I really do. He's going to cost easily twice as much as Joan Garcia because Joan Garcia's got a release clause of just like 21 million. Danny says 210 million should get those targets. There's tons of options out there, players entering the final year, players who will be free in the summer. We have some youngsters we could throw in too to help maybe offset some costs for someone like a Hackney, for instance, or if like when Ipswich go down, if we're looking at Delap, we can definitely throw somebody their way to help cushion that blow, maybe get us an edge in any other interested parties. We know we talked the other day, Delap reportedly has that relegation clause that the price drops down to like 30 million. Again, we could swoop early, get something done, throw in another player or one of these youngsters or something if there's somebody who's not quite fitting the bill, and maybe get out ahead of the competition there if that's something we're looking at. I like Delap. Again, like I said, not as the 9. Put him as one of the 10s. Let him run. Let him get into wide areas. Let him get on the ball. He's more physical than Garnacho. I think that he could be better, but we'll see. It's not that I think Garnacho is bad. I just don't think Garnacho necessarily suits the system very well. And that's not his fault. Same with Rashford. I don't think Rashford suits the system very well. It is what it is. Then he says Juan Jimenez probably cost 2-3 million his contract up in a year. Yeah, we talked about that. His contract is up in like next December, January, whatever. Again, it's kind of like the Nippon situation where the season ends in kind of mid year for other leagues. You can get that stuff done in the summer and just let them finish out the season, and they can come in January. It's not rocket science. It doesn't take much. Just a little bit of initiative, a little bit of proactive behavior, and a little bit of just thinking outside the box. But moving on to this match, I've put this off for far long enough. I'm not super looking forward to it. I think we could get something. We beat them last spring. Obviously, we beat them in the League Cup final 2 years ago. They just look so much better than us right now. They're having a tremendous season. Currently in fifth, Newcastle. They are 1 point ahead of Man City, at least at the time of writing these notes. I hadn't looked at the table since City won this morning, but it seems like City probably leapfrogged them. But we'll see. But the Magpies do have a strong chance of qualifying for the Champions League now that fifth place gets in. It could be neck and neck between them and City to see who qualifies. But they've got 4 wins and 5 in their last, and they've won last 4 in a row, I believe. So they're doing very well. They haven't lost in over a month, and that was when they lost 2 on the bounce against Liverpool and then against Brighton in the FA Cup. United, on the other hand, are a bit shit at the moment. Again, the international break just killed our momentum. We've had a loss and 2 draws since we come back from the break after 2 wins going into the break, 2 very good wins, 2 going into the break. But it's just been poor finishing. It's been a bad final ball and just a few clangers from he who must not be named between the sticks. That's cost us on more than one occasion. And it's difficult to see it improving anytime soon because we're not seeing it improve on a weekly basis. I thought there were some brilliant sparks of life against City. That midfield battle was exciting to watch. I thought we looked very dangerous. Again, just the final ball. But then we sort of dropped off again a little bit against Lyon. I didn't think we were poor against Lyon. We just weren't as good as we were against City. So I don't know how I see it improving. There's just not evidence to support me hoping for that right now. Danny says, buy him now. You want Jimenez, leave him there till January, 100%. Perfect. Yeah, it's not hard, Danny. You and I just need to rock up to Old Trafford and just say, hey, we're here to F shit up. Let us do our thing. Sorry, guys. Oh, could be battering. Oh, let me check these scores real quick. I want to get in on the zeitgeist here of the current clashes going on. 2-2 Brighton and Leicester. 0-0 Forest, Everton, and Villa are battering Southampton. Let me guess. Oh, no Rashford goals. I was expecting to see a Rashford goal, but he already got subbed off. But I forgot that Villa signed Daniel Malen too. I liked him when he was at PSV. So as far as Newcastle goes, we need to be aware, we need to be prepared, and we need to be mindful of a few facets of the way they play. Look out for the long balls. Look out for the switches to their wide attackers. Watch out for Isak's diagonal runs into space because he always seems to do that and he always seems to create something from that. Because they put the ball to the wide players and then the wide players find Isak getting into space. It's very simple. Isak, too, though, can cause problems off the ball because he loves to press the opposition, whether it's a keeper, whether it's defenders. He will not let you get a moment to yourself. So our defenders need to move the ball. Onana's got to move the ball quickly. We can't sit here and dally, especially when there's a counterattack opportunity on, because they don't have the fastest defenders. They have very physical defenders, but they don't have fast ones. So if we can move the ball quickly, get it wide, get it forward, get in behind them, we could give ourselves a better chance. I don't want to see any dallying on the ball. I don't want to see any cute footwork from Mizraoui on the edge of his own box because he does that a lot. And for fuck's sake, just attack the ball when you're defending set pieces. We can't let guys like Dan Burn and Fabian Schär and these guys in like freaking who's the freaking midfielder, Joe Linton. We can't let them just have free run at headers. Attack the ball. Don't wait for it. Go and get rid of it. I mean, there's only so much you can do against Dan Burn, really. The guy's like 8'4", but still, we need to put him off if we can. You don't have to out jump tall players sometimes. Sometimes it's just about jumping a little earlier, getting your hand up so when they try to jump, they bump into your arm and they can't quite get up as high. Like Licho is very good at this. You don't have to be taller. You don't have to be able to jump higher. You just have to jump smarter, if that makes sense. Newcastle have also shown that they can get a result despite having less possession than the opposition. So we just got to be efficient on the ball when we get our chances. Something, again, a big ask considering the way we've been playing this year, man. It's freaking ridiculous. Rob says Matic put a voodoo spell on Onana. Drop him. Yeah. As soon as I saw Matic in the dugout in that Lyon match watching Onana, like and I posted it. You guys saw the post. The first thing it reminded me of was that scene from one of the episodes of the American version of The Office where Dwight's just watching Jim from the roof as Jim just freaks out and he's like battering all these snowmen in the parking lot because he thinks Dwight's gonna pop out and hit him with a snowball. And it's just that is the image that immediately popped in my mind when I saw him doing that. Freaking hilarious. Danny says Alvaro Montoro, Vélez Sarsfield. Sean told you about him before. I think he's 18. Very soon, time to sign him now while he's cheap. There's a ton of these South American players out here, man. And I know that we've been looking around in that market. Obviously, we've been linked to so many defenders. We've been linked to guys like Mastantuono, Subiabre, all these guys. There's a lot of them out there. And I don't think it would take much to go and get it done. You can get a handful of these young South American. You can get 3 or 4 for like 10, 12 million. And you've got players for the future. Even some of them could play right now. I just hope that we're able to do some of that. So hopefully we're able to branch out, not just look at the big thing, the obvious signing, the English signing all the time. Like if they're the right player, they're the right player. But I just want to, sorry, I'm just making sure I take notes here. I just want us to do a little bit more in that regard. This is very professional. Dylan says Dallo and Dorgu are going to have to be on tomorrow. Yeah, Dallo particularly frustrates me because he's just not good at 1v1s. He's been a little better recently in terms of his on the ball being able to beat a man, but he did that very well against City, but then like against Lyon, he just looked again like he was too scared to try anything. So got to be able to be mindful of that. You got to look out for these wide players. Mazraoui does struggle against these tricky wide players, the guys like the Gordons and the Sulemanas and whatnot. He does struggle against these guys, so he's going to need help. You don't have to get in and make a challenge, Dallo, like you did against Lyon. You don't have to go sliding in with your studs up. You just have to stay with these guys. Like, don't give them too much space to work with. You got to not make it easy for them. We really should take a few pages out of Brighton's playbook from when they knocked Newcastle out of the FA Cup. We need to keep our defensive line compact. We need to utilize our wide attackers in these transitions to get the ball forward. We're not quite, the system is very specific with its midfielders, and I don't think that Garnacho is particularly very in Ugarte in some extent. If we're trying to move the ball through the midfield, I don't know if I trust those guys to do it as much. I'd rather get the ball wide to get it forward. Brighton were also very good on the ball in that match. If you remember, they had 68% possession. They dictated the tempo on the night. So we need to be smart with the ball. Again, like you guys are saying, Dallo, Dorgu, Ugarte, Garnacho, they're going to have to step up because recently none of them have been looking great. Dorgu obviously has energy. He's got the physicality. He struggles on the ball sometimes. His crosses were better against Lyon, but he still struggled to beat a man. For me, Dallo is all mental. He's just got to back himself in these situations and not hesitate. Ugarte needs to improve his on-the-ball work. We saw that he can when he first joined and he started playing. His progressive pass numbers were excellent, but it's taken a bit of a drop-off. And Garnacho is just in a very, very low point in terms of that kind of peak and trough up and down for young players. But he's got to start doing better or else he's very easily the one who's going to be making room financially for a new signing in the summer. And we stand to make a tidy profit on that. So, again, we need to move the ball faster, like I said. Isak likes to press. They have a strong physical midfield. They've got guys like Tonali, although I'm pretty sure I saw Tonali might be leaving in the summer. But guys like Gumaresh and these, we got to move the ball quickly. We can't sit here and make ourselves have to win those battles. Like, just move the ball. Don't put yourself in that situation unnecessarily. Get it forward. I trust guys like Garnacho with the ball at his feet against someone like Schär or Danburn more than I trust trying to hoof a long ball to him and expecting him to win that. Højlund's this is not the game to sit here and try to play Hoyland as a hold-up striker or something, and you're not going to win that battle. There's no point in trying. Keep the ball on the ground, move it quickly, move it wide, use the space. Newcastle have that high press. They like to cut off those passing lanes. Again, don't dally on the ball. Get it out from the box, get it forward. Don't put yourself in that situation. So this is how Newcastle beat Liverpool, man. They pressed them until they had to just hoof it long, and then Newcastle just won the ball back, and it was just wave after wave of attack. It's freaking annoying. Look for these runs early. Garnacho's got to release the ball earlier. He had a perfect situation to find Bruno against Lyon and just took 2 or 3 extra touches too many. Put the ball in earlier. Get your head up. See the pass. Don't look for the players. See the space. Put it into space. Let Bruno be the one to take that responsibility. It's annoying. And this is the footballing IQ. This is the reading of the game. This is the decision making that I complain about with Garnacho. And then just finish our freaking chances, right? It's freaking annoying. I'm looking at freaking Garnacho. I'm looking at Hoyland. Finish your chances when you get them. We're not going to get many of your chances. We should have won against Lyon. You can blame that on Onana too, which he does carry all of the blame, but Hoyland fluffing your lines, Garnacho not making the good pass. Like, these are the fine margins that can be the difference between winning or losing, man. Rob says, I think we've been linked to Preston's keeper. Yeah, I saw that. He would probably be a backup because he's like 27, 28. Yeah, I saw that like last week or something. Danny says, be another backup. Yeah. Rob says, Sean Willock is out. Isak and Gordon have slight injuries, but not ruled out. Is Botman out? I think Botman is still out. Gordon is still iffy, and I saw that they're testing him. He's like back on grass, but it's gonna be a late call probably today, tomorrow to see how he's gonna do. He might come on as a sub, but we'll see. But guys like Gordon are exactly the kind of wingers that Mazraoui struggles with. So Mazraoui's gonna have to not be too cute tomorrow. Dylan says, not sure if it's true, but I saw on Instagram that Tonali is under investigation again for sports betting. Oh, geez. I saw like a rumor the other day that he had asked to leave or something in the summer, but I'll never understand that, man. I just don't get it. Rob says, be a huge shame if Tonali has messed up again. He's a quality. Tonali is impeccable. When he was at Sampdoria, I wanted him at United because I could see it then, like, this kid is going to be absolute class. Now, it's a shame that he's really effed it up by making a lot of these stupid decisions off the pitch, but we've seen that that's more often than not, it's not the skill, the talent that makes a difference for these young players when they're coming through. It's the mentality, it's the decision making, and more often than not, that means off the pitch too. That can ruin you. I mean, there's a reason that when people talk about like George Best, it's a big part of that conversation is a lot of his off-pitch behavior. And it's almost seen as a warning tale for young players coming up, especially in United. So, I mean, spoiler alert for the final episode of the What If this first season. So keep an eye out for that one, but spoiler alert there. But heading into this one, Amorim said it's pretty much going to be the same squad when it comes to who's fit and who's ready. So it sounds like De Ligt and whatnot are probably still not quite there yet. Heaven as well. Shaw, who knows? He did add, though, that a few regulars who have been playing are not fully fit. A lot of them can't complete a full 90. Again, going back to like what he said about Maguire managing minutes. Some of them are just carrying knocks. Some of them are just feeling it and can't do a full 90. I think I would probably put Ugarte in that category too, because he just has not looked good. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Kabi start ahead of Ugarte, but we'll see how it goes. It is good to see Kabi back, though, but he looked really good against Lyon. He was a big difference when he came on. And Cheeto is back, since obviously he can't play in the Europa League, but Cheeto will be back for selection as well. So let me know your starting 11. As far as what I would like to see, just please, for the love of God, just start Bayindir. I can't deal with Onana anymore. I can't watch this idiot anymore. He's costing us, and it's just, if you're going to be a net negative, you have to not play. That's just the way it is. I hope that it's so funny to me that there's people out here complaining, like, why doesn't Amorim just say this? Why is he saying this? Like, what do you want a manager to do? Come out and slag off his player in the press? Like, no manager is going to do that unless you're Mourinho. But Yeah, I just don't get it. I'm sure Amorim is thinking a lot of the same stuff we're thinking, and he's got eyes, he's got a brain, he is a manager, he can see stuff, but he's not. He doesn't have much options. Binder was injured, so the last thing you're going to want to do is add another mental like hurdle for Onana to get over. So you back your player and you try to get him. I get it, but I can bet any amount of money that he's thinking about it and he's discussing it. But if I had my way, Onana would already be on a plane to Saudi Arabia. And according to Nico Shara, that could happen this summer. Nico Shara reports that a Saudi club has expressed interest in Andre Onana, so wouldn't be the worst thing. I saw too this morning that Mike Phelan had some thoughts on Onana following that Lyon match. This is what Mike Phelan had to say. He said, "You can't keep covering up those mistakes by waiting for it to develop into a good performance all the time. Is there a number two keeper at United capable of taking the number one role for the rest of the season? I'd argue yes." He said, "It's a decision you have to look at." And he said, I look better in shorts than he does. No, he didn't say that part. I just added it. But Mike Phelan's thinking it. Mike Phelan loves him some shorts. But but yeah, Mike Phelan not holding back. Obviously, Phelan was here for a minute. So we'll see. I think Binder should just start the rest of the season personally, but it's not my call. So, what are you guys saying here? Rob says start Mount, rest Garnacho. Yeah, Mount might be ready for a start, and that was my next point. If he is ready to start, Garnacho should probably be on the bench for this one. Maybe Xerxes, Mount, Bruno, Casemiro, Ugarte, Dorgu, and Dallo. The defenders pretty much pick themselves because of who's injured right now. If Maguire starts, though, I'm going to need him to play just like he did against City. I'm going to need him to look out for these long balls or these passes to Isak, and I'm going to need him to step up and just win those, whether they're on the ground or in the air. Just that's got to be we have to look out for those balls in the channel. So the defenders can't be pulled too wide. So that's why the wing backs are going to need to kind of sit in a back five a little bit. We've seen them get back very, very quickly in numbers recently. I hope that we can keep that up. I hope that traveling isn't going to kill it because this is back-to-back away trips. But Dorgu, Dallo need to be able to sit back deep, and then they need to get it's going to be asking a lot of them, but that's part of the position. Fullbacks in general are going to do a lot of running compared to every other position on the pitch, so they're used to it. I'm not going to be sitting here sugarcoating it, but Kai, hello everyone. Hit like, yes, please, thank you. Welcome back, Kai. Good to see you again. Yes, please hit that like button for me. But yeah, let me know who you'd like to see play, who you would bench. Rob says maybe start Shaw and sub him at halftime. It's risky. You start him and he's pretty much. Sub him at halftime or probably just he'll have to go off at halftime, right? Danny says I'd like to rest Euro. There's a lot of players who need probably a rest. I just don't think we have the option right now with injuries and everything. It's hard. I think that with an eye on Europa League, which is pretty much our best hope of anything salvageable from the season, but at the same time, I'd like to see us at least make a go of it. I just think we need to be mindful of the threats that Newcastle pose with those wide players and those passes to Isak in the channels. And if we can just be alert, make ourselves difficult to break down again, that's how Brighton knocked them out of the cup. We could give ourselves the best opportunity. And then you leave it up to the midfield and the attack to get the job done. The defense has been fine. It's Onana that's been killing us recently. Danny wants to see some of the youngsters get some minutes. Kakanki, Kamison, Amas. Kamison could be knocking on the door. We saw Amas already get some minutes. Danny says, I heard Kone being carried on fire again yesterday. I didn't watch it. Yeah. I watched a little bit of it. And I started the show. Yeah. Biancarri got a couple of goals. Scanlon got one of, who else scored? I forgot who the other guy was. But yeah, Kone was very, very good. He looks very lively, very energetic, very physical, wants to get on the ball. And I like that. So, but now it's time for score predictions. Let me know what you think is going to happen, because as much as we can sit here and we can talk about tactics and team news and how the best setups we can get something from this match, if I'm being honest, I don't see us winning. I'm actually going to call this 2-1 Newcastle. They're just too good right now, and we're just struggling a bit, and we're just toothless right now in front of goal. So I see this going 2-1 Newcastle. And it is what it is. I mean, all our eggs are right now are really, for all intents and purposes, in the Europa League basket. I still want to win. I still want us to show up. I still want us to put up a fight. But I think the Europa League has got to be our priority right now. But let me know what you guys think. Danny says 3-1 Newcastle. Dylan's agreeing. I'm calling 2-1. It's going to be interesting. Rob says 3-1 the Geordies. Yeah. Whenever I think of this makes me want to go watch Goal 2, the second Goal movie now, because just cause. But in any case, 2-1 Newcastle. I think it's going to be a struggle. I've got my eyes on Thursday, so hopefully we can wrap that up at home and progress to the semi. Thursday is going to be interesting for us though, because Bilbao, everyone else drew as well except for Lazio and Bodo Glimt. So it's going to be Bilbao or Rangers for us. So I'd like to see an easy draw, because that's how I am. But it's also Der Klassiker in just a couple minutes too. So I mean, that's not likely to be as competitive as it used to be. Dortmund are just not good right now, but still, it's Der Klassiker, so why not? Dylan says, big news, Eddie Howe misses the match tomorrow. Interesting. What happened there? Dylan says Eddie Howe was just hospitalized, according to TalkSport. Wow. Hope everything is okay. Let me just check in. We got some breaking news here, so I want to make sure that I'm on top of that. On TalkSport. I'm sure it wasn't just Alex Cook talking junkie. I don't see anything on FootMob. Let me see what we got here. Breaking news, everyone. Hold on 1 second. Admitted to hospital and will miss. She's just sick, huh? She fell ill. Well, hopefully he recovers just fine quickly. But that is big news. So Newcastle are a pretty well-drilled side, though. Eddie Howe's got them in their patterns and routines. So, yeah, and like Danny says, yeah, just prayers for Eddie Howe. Hopefully he's fine. According to the internet, he's just sick. So hopefully nothing too serious. And he'll be back on the touchline soon. But, yeah, if you weren't able to catch the live, you guys, get your score predictions, get your starting 11 predictions in the comments. Please hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Go rewind to the video if you missed the beginning. You can check out a scout report and check out some interesting news from Matthias Cunha. Until then, hopefully we will talk a little bit about a win. But if I had to bet, I wouldn't bet on it. But we'll see after the match. I'll see you guys on the next one. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Rob says BBC, he was ill Friday, missed the presser. Interesting. Well, yeah, hopefully, prayers for Eddie Howe. Hopefully he just gets better, and hopefully it's just something like the flu or something. But until then, you guys enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend, and I will see you guys on the next one. I'll talk to you later. Bye.